Welcome to another special episode of This Is What I Do with me, Tsidi Zanda. And today we are speaking all things interior design with a very special guest of mine, the fabulous Siabesho Thutha, who is an interior designer for Blaque Pearl Lifestyle. Siabesho, welcome. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Tsidi. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. I've been wanting to ask you this, and it's a question you've been hearing a lot of times. But before I say it, I just want to say, I know for a fact that your name, you're the only person with this name. What does Siabesho mean, and who gave you this name?
So my name came from my grandfather, and my name, I'm the first person to have it, then my cousin has it. So it's not, so there's two people in the world that currently have the name Siabesho. It's Zulu Siabesho, bekhuluma besithini siyaya. So in Xhosa,
I had guessed
and my background is Xhosa.
Yeah.
So it's Siabesicho. So we're quite determined in what we do.
I was 100% spot on because I said to you, I have an idea.
An idea of what it is.
Of what it means.
Yeah.
Siabesho. Nobabathini, we're there.
We are there, Sisaya.
That's great.
Yeah. I think my parents struggled to have children.
Yeah.
And they were quite determined in having children. And then there I was, Siabesho.
You're the two family members. So it's like a name in the Thutha family.
Yeah. So it was stolen from me.
Really?
Yeah.
Any plans of keeping it in the family? We don't want this name to die.
Yeah, it must continue.
It must continue.
It must continue in the family. And I think the world also deserves it.
The world deserves it.
Yeah, the world deserves all Siabesho out there that are determined. Well-determined people.
Nice. Are you as conscious about the question of being asked what you do for a living like I am? Because for me, it is like, depends where I am and who asks it and why they ask it.
I'm not...
How easy do you find it? And the last time someone asked you this question, where were you and how did you answer that?
Oh, that's very tricky. So I think because I'm an entrepreneur, I love being asked that question because then it's engaging.
Yeah.
And you never know what spaces you're in
Yeah.
that could, be your next lead.
Sure.
Or so I'm not shy, and I'm always excited about the work that I do and speaking about it.
Yeah.
And have amazing projects here and there.
Yeah.
And someone asks, what do you do? Then I'm like, oh, we are doing this and that.
When does it get awkward though, when you're like, I really don't want to tell this person? Or
I've never had a moment where I'm like, okay, this is a bit awkward.
Yeah.
And I know I've had two careers in my life, and even in my previous one, I don't think I was really shy of saying who I am and what it is that I do.
Yeah.
It kind of gives an idea and a picture of who you are in a sense.
You own
and
it.
how you so I own it. I've never been really shy of okay, what do you do, and like kept it a secret.
Not that it's a secret.
Not a secret, but you know what I mean. I'm being
I am like, what? Who are you? Why are you asking?
Why are you asking? I know some people are like that, and it
also
depends on
how
the space.
how they ask it. There's people that ask it because they just want to pry.
Yeah.
And there's.
So I don't mind prying because it means could be possible business.
I get you.
In my sense.
I get you.
Yeah.
I get you. Let me not say a lot of people. So people tend to minimize and not understand the importance of the type of the importance and the need of the services of interior designer. So for someone who doesn't have a sense of why an interior designer is needed and what an interior designer is, how would you explain it to someone who's out there, who's thinking about it but doesn't know much about it, and why is the service so important?
I think the service is so important because a lot of people miss things thinking that they know how to do them.
Yeah.
And yes, fair enough. Yes, it's your space, it's your personality, it's it's your take on how you want the space to be. But the execution sometimes is where people get the miss.
What's in your head doesn't
always translate.
Yeah.
And we get a lot of clients that come back, I tried doing this, and I was like, what was I doing? And I
went to Pinterest.
I did this. And now with social media, you think you can get all your inspirations and everything from everywhere. But I think an interior designer is quite important in the spatial planning of the space, in the use of the space, and a balance between, especially if you've got a partner, a balance between, the styles of the partner, and making sure things that are durably made and are sustainable for a long time. And cheap is not always the best, but we know how to economize
Yeah.
and make sure that your money goes far sometimes. And rather than doing it yourself and then having a regret down the line, it's always best to then have like
spending money fixing something that you end up
spending
not
money
liking.
and redoing.
Yeah.
A lot of clients then, I've already done the space and
Spend so much money.
spend so much money, and we could save you a buck here and there, and all of that stuff.
Now that we are on that topic, but is any budget too big or too small? How does the consultation process of it go? Let me say, someone picks up the phone, Blaque Pearl Lifestyle, I've heard amazing things about you. Take us through. Let's talk about the consultation process first.
Okay.
Then we'll talk about
the other stuff,
the costing and the budgets.
Okay, so someone picks up a call. Hi, I'm looking for an interior designer. What it is that you do, and then I just walk them through a process. And over the years, we've now created a document that after the conversation happens, so that if you have any questions, you just refer to it.
Yeah.
Basically, we have a consultant fee, a call-out fee to come see the space, because it's my time coming to you and
of course,
seeing the space, understanding your needs, the client needs, and analyzing what it is they like, all of that stuff. So we'd have that meeting and consultation, walk through the space, whether it's taking measurements or going through the floor plans of the space, understanding your needs and the different spaces that you need, the colors, all of that stuff. And then after that, we then go back to the drawing board, where we create a mood board of items that would be in the space. From our conversation, I know you like this, you don't like that. And I like our clients to be more interactive in that because it's their space at the end of the day. They would have to live with what we then propose.
And during that process, what helps you to capture all of the feedback? Do you record it, or you have like a template where you get a sense of everything that the client has said, so that you can inform your mood board when you go back to the drawing board?
So with technology these days, we're on WhatsApp a lot,
Yeah.
and there's also social media. So some clients are on social media. So I generally ask clients to just give me inspirational things that they like, just an insight of who the designer is.
Yes.
And then whether you've traveled the world and you liked this about a place. So I then draw inspiration from the client, because it's literally going to be their space that we're creating. And I know some designers drive their own narrative of this is my specific style, but we like to cater to a majority of our clients and not make it about Blaque Pearl Lifestyle, but more about the client and the client's enjoyment of the space.
And expand what they thought they had said. And give them.
And then make it cohesive and make it speak to the space, to the architecture, to what they've gave us in terms of a feedback. So it's a nice balancing ground of when we create that mood board of all those factors that come into play. And then after that, we present it to them with swatches, with the mood board. We mostly do digital mood boards now.
Yeah.
So we'd go through, this is the couch style that we think proposing, and this would be the fabric. We go through it based on that conversations that we had, whether you like this kind of texture or you're going for a more colorful space and all of that. Whether wallpaper, is it marble that we're talking about? Are they like, decorative elements that are...
And you prefer all of this to happen face to face, or you can have it virtually?
Virtually, I think COVID did a great thing with the virtual world, because at first glance, you've had the interaction with the client, and you then now are doing your presentation, and it takes a lot of time to find diaries but I think COVID did a great thing in the interior space. We do physical meetings. So maybe after the first presentation, we'll then have a physical meeting where you touch and feel the samples based on what you'd like from the digital mood board.
All right. Thanks to COVID.
Thanks to COVID. I mean, we used to run around halfway of Joburg, and
Where are you? I'll come to where you are.
so now we even have clients
Yeah.
everywhere in the world, which makes it so much easier. And luckily, everyone is now for the the
Yeah.
digital world where you just dial in
They've taken.
and you walk through the presentation, and that's that.
All right. Let's talk budgets. Is any budget too big or any budget too small? I'll give you an example why I'm asking this.
Okay.
So me, I'm like, okay, I can do this, and I fail at it. So what's in my head doesn't translate into my small 2-bedroom, 2-bath space. And I come to you, call Blaque Pearl Lifestyle, guys, I need to come and speak to you, pay the consultation fee, and we sit down and I show you what I have and what I've done. At that moment, are you open to, okay, if the costing is a costing up to you or the costing is up to the client's budget? And also in a situation where you can see that what the client wants they have undercosted or under budgeted for it, how do you navigate that space? Some people give you maybe a budget that is huge and what you can deliver we see change to bring back change if the work that you've managed to done is like how does the costing work?
We definitely do. So I come from an accounting background. In my previous life before being an interior designer, I was in the accounting field. So we try to make your money go as far as your money can go.
Very important.
Very important.
Yeah.
And also part of that analysis that we do in the beginning when we are interacting and asking consulting with you initially is to understand where it is and how much your budget can then play. So it's a very important question that a lot of people try to shy away from, of how much. I like to know what is your ceiling, what is your, because I can go look for a Ferrari, or I can go look for a Golf, or I can go look for a BMW, or whatever. What are we working with? So I like to get out of a meeting knowing this is how much I have to work with, and in fitting that space. So, and this has been a misconception for a long time that interior design services are for affluent people. We've worked with clients that are bachelors that live in their bachelor apartment.
Yeah.
And its design doesn't specifically speak to people with money only. It's for everyone across board within their budgets. So if you tell me that you have X amount, and I can show you with your X amount, this is how much I can get as far with that. So it's really client and subjective basis on the different individuals.
Yeah, I really, people do tend to think certain services are for certain people. And honestly, if my mindset was different, I would have actually asked for your help.
It's never too late.
But it's that perception and just not asking questions.
It's not asking questions. And a lot of people are like, yo, I need nani adura.
That time you have not even picked up.
And then I'm like, Kosizame, just try us, Jay. And people are usually shocked, but okay. And then your place looks beautiful and you start appreciating the space that we've done for you. And you then, and also we do a phased approach in our process. So if let's say you've got an entire house that you want done, then we can do it in stages where we do the formal space, the formal dining, the dining space or the living room, or break it down. Or we just give you the quote of everything, so we can do a mood board for the whole space, and then you say what your priorities are, and then we work with that. Like it won't be at a loss at all.
I don't think it will be. I don't think it will. You did touch that you have an accounting background. I think when I was in UJ, you were a year or two ahead of me.
Yes.
How did that journey go? How far did it take you?
Hey, it went as far as it could. Growing up, you're told, oh, you need to. And I think now the times have changed. We can see other careers and other,
the world has
opened up to other things. And it's completely changed to that. I don't want to see a spreadsheet.
I felt.
Like, ask me to do a calculation of anything, it's a no for me. I think I'm where my passion really lies at this point in my life, and I really enjoy it. It helps to have that background,
Yeah.
especially being an entrepreneur, because you have to balance a few
And in business,
things, and
yeah.
in business, and that thinking will always be there. I did do an honors in tax and corporate governance.
You're a tax person.
Tax and corporate governance,
Wow.
but it shall stay there. I was.
And how long did you stay in the space?
I stayed in the space. So I worked in different fields for about 8 years, and then this was scratching more. The passion was scratching more of, this is what you want. Like, this is where your calling is, and literally follow your calling and your passion. And it's tough, being a business owner, but the price.
You just need to start.
You just need to start. You need to start. You need to try. You need to engage. You need to exhaust.
Yeah.
You need to
fail, get up,
learn, change this. But it's also like rewarding. It's rewarding in your spirit, in your heart, in everything that you. Uvuka une drive.
I get you. Yeah.
So I don't regret it, not one bit.
And when does the light bulb goes, Siabesho, I'm not supposed to be here. I know what I want to do.
When did it start?
The light bulb of, okay, I'm killing myself here. This is where I want to go.
So even the transition was not even like a light bulb moment like that. I think me and my business partner, Kita, also coming from a finance background.
Yeah.
We had that. Our homes were like
another thing.
They were curated.
Curated.
That's the word you can put. Our homes were curated.
Yeah.
And our business really started from us going from shop to shop, liking certain things, going to a store here, going a store there, putting our spaces together, and then our friends appreciating it and asking us to do it in their spaces. And then it was like, hi man, like, we're onto something here. Something is something here. And when you're growing up, you don't really, especially in Black families,
we're not programmed.
To look at Tana Doni Apa. No, it's like you're going to go do this.
And parents are so busy trying to make money to take us to the best schools, they don't even get the opportunity to spend time and observe.
This is what it is.
And
when I look back, like, my mom and my parents loved fine things and beautiful things, and even our home, like, we used to change our kitchen every like other 3-4 years.
So you realize it's something that you grew up
and
with.
I would be involved in those things, like, because tasting that, like, or like, okay, so things like that.
Moms.
Yes, Xhosa moms. And at that point in time, you don't think like, oh, this is something I can do as like for a living for other people. And I think it really started there back then, but it really awoke up later in life.
Look, the only thing we can take from these types of things is to be better parents. Spend time with our kids.
I think the world has changed.
Not make everything about money, just observe, because passion is definitely, for me, the older I get, I'm like, passion is where your wealth is.
Yes, definitely is. Definitely is.
Because uvuka ekseni and you go do something that you're like, I don't care about this. I don't want to be here.
Yeah, no. But luckily I was in, as my name is, we are determined. Even in the accounting field, I was always,
I'm going to thrive.
I'm going to thrive. I'm going to do this. And that career went up and it did what it needed to do at the time. And that was,
So besides testing, this newfound passion that's now, clicking and looking like it could be a business idea, what other steps do you and your partner now take? Because sometimes some of us are lazy to study. So if you mention that I must go a new direction, I'm like, do I need to study? So what were the steps and what direction did you take to, empower yourself and the knowledge? Is there a course, or you entered a space, you interned somewhere? How does the steps now take that
into this space?
Yeah, into the space.
So I think we were quite I'm looking for the word. We were quite I don't want to take education away for anything,
Yeah.
because I think it is the basis of most things.
Of course.
And we were quite determined in making sure that we do have an insight of what it is to be in this field. Yes, you can put things together and all of that stuff. So we both then enrolled in Inscape, which is an institution that has different design, architecture, interior design, interior architecture, and we did interior decorating course there, which was a year course. And we did this while we were working. So that gave us a lot of insight into the space and what it is that we do. And it was a year of studying and understanding what it is, and things like that.
And appreciating the art.
Because you need to back yourself up also coming into a field with credentials. So credentials are quite important, and we got those. And then also in the design space, there's the IID, which is basically like a board for interior designers and decor in the decor space. And
you got to socialize with them.
You associate with them.
Yeah.
And you pay your monthly your yearly subscriptions with them to be an IID accredited designer.
Do you think having a friend, now partner, that was there with you made it easy for you to transition? Do you think the partnership, do you think you would have taken this leap easily if you were on your own?
Oh, I've never really thought of that. I think so. I think at some point the itch would have grown in some way and in some form, and it does help having a business partner with the same motive and drive to then engage in that space, and it's much better because you have someone to bounce things with, bounce things off with, and coming into
carry each other
and carry each other.
Yeah.
So it's nice to have that relationship with someone and a friend, a dear friend that that you've also known. You know each other's weaknesses and strengths, so you back each other up, and you engage the business differently.
Yeah, and Blaque Pearl Lifestyle was born. How did the name come about? When did the business actually start? And take us through the process.
We are in our 10th year anniversary of Blaque Pearl Lifestyle.
Congratulations.
It started in 2014.
Yeah.
I think before that, 2013, we were in 2014 we were actually doing the course in Inscape, and it started February 2024. That's when we incorporated Blaque Pearl Lifestyle.
And you've been going.
We've been pushing all of that,
higher and lower,
and getting into the field, a tough field. I think we entered the field in a tough era. Yeah. But we're still keeping going. And
you just led me to a question now. How welcoming was the industry, the space that you were in, and also when you did eventually now as Blaque Pearl get into it, did you feel like there was a need for the type of voice that you wanted to have as a business? And also, how competitive is it? Like, I don't think anyone has ever thought to think about what the design space, especially interior design, how competitive, how welcoming is it?
When we initially got in, it's quite a tough market to enter into, and especially as African, I think at a time a lot of African people weren't doing interior design. Yeah. And yes, there were a few here and there that you'd hear about, and you would then lean for support. Like, I've got a mentor who then we leaned for support, Binala. And she had been in the industry just about a year or two before us, when she was there. But it was nice to start then building the foundation and supports and initiatives like that in the space. And it was tough to get in. It's still always, you know, touch and go here and there. But I think the industry has opened up a bit more. We've got a lot of designers, even like product designers, that are making the space so much better for other people to then come through. And it's quite open. We do have internships that we have every now and again, that we take up students that would be with us.
Nice.
They kind of see the job
Yeah.
that we kind of do. And it's nice that a lot of them come through and at a younger age, and this is their first time. It's their first careers
Yeah.
versus us. That was our second careers.
Oof, yeah.
So it has opened up, and I think there's a lot of opportunities. South Africa is growing in a market of more people being getting more homes, more spaces,
Yeah.
even in the retail space, not specifically home and hospitality as well.
This is not meant to be controversial, ne? Definitely not.
Okay, said a non-controversial
So
question.
Sam. But now that you're in the space, do you feel like there were spaces that were harder to infiltrate in as you being a Black-owned interior design company? I mean,
Still to do
so
today.
like certain people will say interior design is a white thing. I'm sure the white person will do a better job than the Black person because we obviously, you know, we didn't have a strong sense of presence of interior designers at that time. How does that go, and how do you build the trust of people that still look at the service from that, you know,
That perspective.
misinformed perspective?
I think, and you do get a lot of that. It's disheartening that even your people, that your African people,
We do it
would
to each
then
other.
would rather, oh, I'd rather go do
Mhm.
with, it is disheartening because even in, let's say, the white or the Jewish people, they in their communities grow their own communities and their people.
They support each other.
They support each other. And it's quite disheartening that, our people would rather like take a service from that, which is fine. I mean, each to their own. I think there's also enough other people that are willing to invest in Black business and drive the Black narrative
Yeah,
and
definitely.
in corporates, it really is tough. We've sat in many situations and meetings and, conversations, and that sometimes don't lead up to a lot.
And you can hear that
And you can,
it's not about
and
the
initially
quality.
it's like, it's yes,
going
there's another hand
another
or another direction.
Yeah.
Or let's say you had a proposal, but then
Oh, I wish you were white.
not even that. Or let's say if it's for a retail space that they only allow this company to work on their spaces, which is then a white company.
Maybe the target market is predominantly white. I don't know.
I think not. Majority of South Africans are Black people. They're
Yeah,
not
they are.
affluent Black people, but and that's a preference thing. Like if that's your preference, that's your preference.
Definitely
And
a
nothing can
preference
change.
thing.
Well, all we can do as Black designers is continue doing our work with the people that want to work with us, that want to grow us, that want to be part of a story that is engaging in growing the community.
Yeah, true.
And that's the only thing we can do and make sure that we do it best. Otherwise, if your heart
will hold you back.
If your heart is about going into different corners of where the other hearts are, then your heart will be hard.
100%.
And it's unnecessary.
Very unnecessary.
Unnecessary hardening.
And your proudest moment in the business, that moment that made you want to pick up the phone and say, Mama, I made it. Like a project that you so proud of, or a project that was so enjoyable, or something that launched you guys and put you out there. What is that proud moment, that
it's so weird. Like there've been many like snippets of like different projects. Like all projects are exciting.
Yeah.
But if you can earmark as like doing a restaurant, restaurants. We've done like about 2 or 3 restaurants that we've done, and they stood a nice place and time and were enjoyed. And it's also nice to seeing how other people interact with the
Yeah.
space once you've done with it, and how they grow and change and all of that stuff. And there was a client that was put a portion of their house, that was a big project about 2 years around COVID time, where they wanted a gallery, and it had a lot of wall paneling, marble flooring,
As part of the house.
finishes as part of the house. So they wanted the space to be a gallery space.
Oh, that's special.
And yeah, so it was nice to be part of that design from the exterior and also the patio, and changing how the house looked so that it had like,
I can see it in my head.
Parisian style type of house, which was a nice project. And also just doing some projects for the hospital, Baragwanath Hospital, doing some joinery work there.
Joinery work.
Yeah, woodwork.
Oh,
the
woodwork.
Cupboards and
okay.
the spatial planning. Yeah.
Yeah. So I did want to follow up with how far and wide does the scope of your services go? I know you've mentioned restaurants, you've mentioned hospitals, houses, offices. How far and how far do you go? Where do you want to go?
I go as far as my clients want me to go.
Hmm?
I like to engage my creativity, and Zimkita likes to engage our creativity. So
Yeah.
we're not really fixed to a specific, whether we're residential or we like to have a touch in each corporate, and we like to give it a more homely feel than a clinical feel. And I think that's what's important in what we do, is that
And that's
we
what
give
you did
it
with the hospital, because the
Correct.
hospital feels very
cold and
cold.
yes. So, if you have opportunities to then have that touch and make it more homely, well, not homely, but like a more fuzzy feeling, then people tend to enjoy that space more.
Okay. And an ideal dream project for Blaque Pearl, like when the two of you, are sipping on wine and you're like, Shongane, if we can do this, if we can get something like this, what's the dream? What's
We still,
dream?
the dream is still to have a hospitality project where it can go not only in South Africa, go across. It would be lovely to be involved in a hospitality project where it's a boutique hotel, or that type of, to have that kind of engagement, and not only in the South African base, and make it international.
Sure, that sounds interesting, because now you would have to do it in such a way where it's accustomed to the location. So if you have
And learning the
oh,
people and
that would
understanding.
I get you.
So part of our job is really understanding what happens around the space, and the architecture, the people, the culture. All of that are things that we really enjoy engaging, and give us a creative narrative to then, put up the space together.
Yeah.
So that would be nice. And also one day to have an emporium, Blaque Pearl Emporium. You hear it? Ilapha ineRig.
Ingathi
Where we have
sekhona.
like our collective pieces. Yes, we make furniture and customize furniture, but for different clients and different spaces. But I think it would be nice to have an emporium where people then have like a pop. If you want a couch right now,
Yeah.
you could just quickly. I think that's where we head.
So will you manufacture your own, special pieces, furniture type of thing?
We drive majority of our work is custom made furniture.
Okay,
And
great.
bespoke, pieces and all
Yeah.
of that stuff, just to make spaces unique to the different individuals. But we also do source here and there, to just balance it out.
Look, interior design seems like it's a very important creative. You need to be in a mental space where when you do get these type of projects. I mean, how do you spend time to refresh and get inspired? Fagi charger and
To recharge and
to
re-engage and
recharge
refresh.
and re-engage, and also to learn and get what you know now influence, but how do you do that? Besides of Funda, we can't be,
Yeah.
on.
No, Funda can only get you to a certain
Yeah.
point. But I think
How do you refresh?
a person that's definitely in this field has to be kind of a bit worldly about travel, about architecture, about loving finer things, the design of things, fashion. Like our industry is one that has an integrated element
Sure.
of all
Yeah.
different spheres. So I literally enjoy traveling, seeing the world, seeing what it has to offer. What can I bring back to my next project?
So when you get there, you make appointments and try and see as much as you can. How
I
do you?
try see as much as I can. I try see as much as I can. I also then, engage the people. Like I love interaction with people in spaces and different spaces. So that too. And I think the world is quite open in terms of
Sharing.
sharing and things being readily available to us. So it's quite nice and involved.
Nice. But do you have like a person that see their work, or everyone has an inspiration in whatever space that we have? Do you have like an interior designer who you look at and you're like, oh, this is impeccable work, or you just focus on what you see, how you feel, and you feel your mind with what's around you? Do you have any
There's no
influences?
specific influence. Like I think I follow a lot of interior designers and just like pick up certain things about them that I enjoy.
Yeah.
But I really engage more in myself and the client at that time in then curating the spaces. And a bit of our personality, a bit then comes through with the personality of the client. But yeah, there's a variation of multiple designers. There's no specific style. And I think if you can also look at our page, Blaque Pearl Lifestyle, you can see in that it's not driven from a perspective of just Siabesho and Zimkita,
Yeah.
but you can then see our touch and element in it.
Okay. Yeah. You know what? I have to ask you this. The dream Siabesho house. A house that represents you, that feels like you, that talks like you, whether it's in South Africa or it's in abroad. What is your taste? What is your taste? Like I want to get a sense of, if you would do something for yourself, the vision
I
of.
mean, you've been to my house.
Yes, I've been to your house.
So what
but
would you say the taste is?
I'm not a design person, but I will try.
Okay.
It's very welcoming.
Mm-hmm.
It's very personal. Everything that you have in your house feels like there was some thought behind it, and you picked it for a reason.
Okay.
And it feels very modern. I'm trying to find the language now.
Yes. I can see in your head.
Yes, I'm in my head about it because I don't have the language. It feels very modern. It feels very contemporary, but it has elements of a lot of things, but you've put them together in such a way that when someone looks at your house,
that's specific.
they understand your I understand your personality, but just by being in your house.
Okay.
I think also, I believe people's houses do have, we can say they represent who you are. Is it true? You believe that?
I believe that. I think they should. I think they
Yeah.
should really represent who they are. So I'm quite eclectic and touch of contemporary.
What does eclectic mean, Salish?
It means something that is different. Not exotic.
Not exotic.
But it could be in the play of the exotic. So,
Yeah.
but there's something distinct about it. So it's an eclectic. It's something
And fun is
eccentric.
Yeah.
And yes, I find it's amusing. So I like, I mean, even my top is, and your top, right? Glitz and glam versus eclectic.
So this is eclectic.
This is eclectic, and that would be like your Luxe, glitz and glam. So I like things that are really driven by nature, and so your stones, your prints, your African prints, things that are naturally made and curated. are things that I like. So it's the minimalistic style and a bit of the contemporary, you know, with the clean lines and all of that.
So you
But
are diverse in
I'm
in
diverse,
what you
so
can
I'm
do
a,
as
I'm a
well.
mix of both. Also love luxurious things, but you know, with the touches of gold trims and you know things like that.
So we're still talking about you. Is it a city house?
Oh,
Is
the
it a
city.
farmhouse? Where are we? Where
So,
is Siabesho's dream home?
so it's a farmhouse. Is it a farmhouse? You are.
CEP?
We are Sipina. So for me, I could be anywhere really. Like we had a conversation earlier where I could have a house in Cape Town, I could have a house in Johannesburg, I could have a farmhouse. But I think what really a house is a house, right? And the only thing that makes it a home is how you put it together and
Yeah,
how
sure.
it. So it will definitely have those elements of warmth, of
Eclectic.
eclecticness, touches of gold and metallics, and all of those things, and neutral colors as well, but with definitely like a pop here and there. So yeah, my house is everywhere. My house is literally everywhere. Put me anywhere, and I will make it a home.
You will make it a home.
I will make it a home.
All right. Are you working on any interesting projects right now? What does the future look like for Blaque Pearl Lifestyle? Blaque Pearl Lifestyle Emporium. Emporium.
Yes, Black Pearl Emporium.
Emporium.
Yes, we should be looking forward to that soon. Something in the pipeline, something just different, and not really different, but it's something that we've always wanted to do with Sakita, is have a line of furniture, and you know, it's accessible, and it's not only a service that we provide, but also just like a product that is more there. But I also want to engage more of where I come from. I've had certain projects in the Eastern Cape, and I think I really want to go back and have more projects there and more engagement with my people from that side.
Projects like what, maybe?
Houses or
Schools.
malls, whatever it is. So I think it's something that I've been getting nice projects that side, and I think, you know, people, they also want Joburg services, as you could put it. They also want
and
the services.
and it takes us a long time to get them here, but we never bring them back home.
We never bring them back home.
Yeah.
So I think it's time that also that Emporium
That would
could
be
kind
very
of live
special, actually.
in the Eastern Cape, and you know, people can tap into our services there. They definitely, we're national. We've got projects everywhere in the world, but I think accessibility and all of that stuff must be more fine-tuned.
So if anyone out there is watching this and is like, okay, Butwema sinizame, sinizama, where can we find you? Where can people follow you?
People can follow us on Instagram, all our social media, Instagram, X, and Facebook. It's Blaque Pearl Life, but the whole business name is Blaque Pearl Lifestyle. And you can always email us on info@blaque Pearl Pearl life.com. So it's not your black, it's black
with a
QUE.
UE, yeah.
Yeah.
Got it.
And then Pearl and Lifestyle.
And lifestyle website as well.
The website's also there.
All right.
www.blaquepearllife.com.
Nice. All things interior design. Congratulations again for 10 years. I can't wait what you do in the future.
Hope I won't disappoint.
No, you're not going to disappoint anyone. We just want to see how far you can go. And, you know, I really wish our people would be brave enough and understand that it's a service that even anyone can actually...
No, they are warming up.
They are warming up, no?
They're definitely warming up. We're seeing a lot of it.
That's great.
We're seeing a lot of it.
We deserve nice things.
We do. I think everyone deserves nice things. No man, if R5 yakho, R5
the budget, nice. The 10,000.
Yes.
Ne?
It can definitely work.
Wow. Guys, thank you so much for joining us for this. Please do check out Blaque Pearl Lifestyle on their website and all the socials. Thanks again to Mandy Studios for shooting this episode. I forgot last time. I don't want to ask, but I have to ask, guys. Please follow us, subscribe, and eventually, as the podcast grows, you will be able to, suggest who you would like to have me speak to as we go. Let's talk and meet again soon. Take care. Keep warm. That's a wrap. Done and dusted.